Hello guys, well, at last, Let It Be is finally here. A lot of you guys seem to really enjoy my reaction to Now and Then, so I think I owe it to you guys to follow up with that with a new Beatle release, the original 1970 cut of the documentary film Let It Be. So I actually have a pretty unique perspective on this because I feel like most Beatle fans went into the revamped Get Back project having seen the original version of Let It Be that we're about to watch. But in my case, I have seen Get Back twice or three times, I think, and I have never seen the original Let It Be movie because it's been so damn hard to find. Like literally, I'm pretty sure today is the first time since 1970 that the film has been publicly available. Very low quality bootlegs have roamed around over the years, but I've just never went out of my way to go out and see it. In terms of expectations going in, all I really know about this film is that this paints the very dark picture, and it's a big reason why people think the Beatle breakup was so awful. And of course, a big selling point behind Peter Jackson's Get Back is that it showed more of the story, and while there was some tension, it was mainly just the Beatles doing their silly little Beatle things.
God damn you, little microphone.
I'm excited to watch this not only because it's something new that I haven't seen yet, but I know that Peter Jackson has gone on record to say that Get Back was never meant to replace this original film. A lot of the footage from Get Back and Let It Be, there's not a ton of overlap. There was a lot of footage, from my understanding, left out of Get Back that was included in the original Let It Be movie. Get Back was never meant to be a replacement for Let It Be. I'm pretty sure Peter Jackson said that the two projects are supposed to complement each other. So I have not seen Get Back in probably around 2 years, so I'm not going to do a big compare-contrast Get Back to Let It Be, as I'm sure plenty of other YouTubers will take over that. We're just going to sit back, relax, and watch the original 1970 film and see how the Beatles were painted in this light, and see how awful they're actually portrayed, especially Paul McCartney. I know that he's often seen as the bad guy in this era. I mean, of course not anymore now that Get Back is out, but yeah, let's get into it.
Well, I guess people might be asking themselves why I'm talking to you at this point in time, but
this is cool.
You've always been very kind about...
I'll be honest, I didn't even realize that Michael Lindsay-Hogg was, like, still alive.
I look at Let It Be as the father of Get Back.
you were filming it in January 1969. I come to think of it as one of the most productive periods of that the Beatles ever had.
Not just the Beatles, but also music in general. All musical artists in the late 60s, early 70s were on fire back then. So many great albums that released from, like, 66 to 73.
One of the fascinating things about Let It Be was it was originally going to be a concert. Then after about 10 days, we're doing a documentary.
And for those who don't know the story behind Let It Be, they pretty much just explained it, but the Beatles were originally going to do a concert after not performing for so many years, and it formed into a documentary that they filmed, and that became Let It Be, and then Peter Jackson went back years later, did Get Back.
And that's what led us to the roof.
Oh yeah, yep, the rooftop concert's in this. I'm really interested to see that because in Get Back, the rooftop concert was edited together a little weird. I mean, it was still cool, but there were like conversations from the ground intercut with different things. So I'm pretty sure in this version, it's shot like an actual like concert type film.
With 2,000 people in an amphitheater, it would be the event that you would want.
Also, spoiler alert, I am going to be talking a lot through this, so I'm definitely going to be missing some information. I'm going to go back and really pay attention and watch the documentary after this reaction, so I'm going to blabber, I'm sorry.
I'm very glad about it coming out again. It really didn't get a fair shake. It's going to get a chance to be embraced for the curious and fascinating character that it is, I think.
Alright, that was a good introduction. I'm really glad that they went through the effort to include that alongside the original documentary because, like I said, I didn't even know that Michael Lindsay-Hogg was still alive, so that's good to see him and Peter Jackson talk about the very long and tumultuous history about this footage in particular. Here we go, original Let It Be. I'm excited, boys. I'm very excited. Here's our boy, Mal Evans. And this is probably going to be cutting around a lot because not only is this a filmed reaction, but it also includes Beatles music. So the Beatles, whatever their copyright holders are, I don't know, but they don't take too kindly to YouTube reactors. So it's gonna be spliced like all hell. Like the Apple core on top of the piano. Symbolism, symbolism, that's the Beatles falling apart, that apple.
Don't let me down.
Oh shit, here we go. So opening up in Twickenham Studios, I'm pretty sure. There's Yoko, the evil person that she is. I'm kidding, don't take that seriously. Like I said, I've seen Get Back before. I know a little more of the scope of this. One of the most interesting parts about Get Back was the part where Paul McCartney conceives the song Get Back out of like thin air. Judging from the public reaction to that, like on the internet, I'm pretty sure that's not in this. So it'll be interesting to see what footage they decided to omit from this original production.
Yeah, no, but let's sort of move on now.
Bang, bang, Maxwell's hammer.
Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
D, G, B, B, E minor.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the way that they kind of craft these now classic songs. A lot of people have bad things to say about Maxwell's Silver Hammer, but it's not that bad. Oh, okay, good. They do have this in here. I like, it's not in here, but in Get Back, Paul McCartney, he's like, Mile, you gotta get an anvil, and then it just cuts to, like, this, and Mile Evans banging on the anvil. Yep, there he is at the anvil. Also, I gotta say, just right off the bat, from a technical standpoint...
Oh, fuck you now.
That's funny. I didn't realize that this was in the original cut.
Well, it's not.
If this boy dies, you're gonna cop it.
You know, it's really funny because I know that, oh jeez, they're just playing all the songs right now. But, I remember reading about that electric shock thing, and people were saying that, like, they could have died, like, because of, like, ground wires or something. I don't know. I'm not an electrician, but from a technical standpoint, as I was saying, I'm glad that this is the original film footage, because one of my minor gripes with Get Back was the way that they remastered some of the footage. The Beatles, they look, like, waxy. It doesn't look natural, and it's weird looking, but here we get, Two of Us. Pretty sure Paul McCartney primarily wrote this one about him and Linda, and not him and John. I think the lyrics are broad enough to where you can imagine that it is about Paul and John. I mean, so far it's pretty lighthearted. We got a little bit of bickering at the beginning, but nothing too awful. Here we go. I've Got a Feeling is probably my favorite song off of the original record. It's such a great example of a half-finished McCartney song and a half-finished Lennon song coming together to make a really great rocker.
It's coming down too fast, the nose.
Here we go.
So it shouldn't be any recognizable jumps. Falling. Should never hear it do that.
There we go. They got it now. That's one of my favorite things about watching stuff like this, is that you know, like, how it's supposed to sound, you know? And then whenever they hit it, it's like, fuck yeah, they finally got it. And then you just got Ringo, like, chilling in the background, just doing his thing. Out of the four Beatles, he was the one that was just sitting there, like, the whole time, like, amongst all, like, the bickering and the bullshitting, you know? Uh-oh, this shot's looking familiar. Is this gonna be the argument? No, it's not. I thought that was the shot where Paul and George were gonna get into their, you-know-what, conversation.
What was the one you were doing the other night?
There was one after 909?
Yeah, because McCartney's whole idea behind Get Back, Let It Be, whatever you want to call it, is bringing it back to basics, not using the studio as an instrument anymore. That's why you get songs like One After 909 on the album, which they wrote back in like 62, 63. It's on Anthology 1, and it's really interesting to hear the early version of it, because it very easily could have ended up on something like With the Beatles. I really like One After 909. It's really good. A lot of the Anthology 1 cuts are worth listening to.
Morning, Paul. Good morning, Rich. How are you this
That is a funny clip. It's just so fun to watch them just mess around with instruments and stuff. I have to imagine that's like pretty much this entire documentary is just them jamming. I know Get Back was a lot more story oriented. Granted, we're like 18 minutes into this, so. Actually, seeing Ringo play the piano reminds me of the scene in Get Back when George Harrison is helping him write part of Octopus's Garden. That was a really cool thing to see, because not only, you're not getting Let It Be songs in this, but you're also getting Abbey Road songs as well, like Maxwell's Silver Hammer and Oh Darling.
Get on the mic.
Okay.
You know, because I can't hear you.
Don't sort of bitch about it, but now we got
Go on. You know, we've just gone round like for an hour.
Uh-oh.
So that it's not sounding together.
So we can
even on
play it until we...
Or we can stop and say it's not together. It's complicated now.
This is it, I think.
I really am trying to just say, look, lads, the band, you know, should we try it like this?
There's a lot to say about this conversation, because it was fleshed out more in Get Back, but to be honest, I kind of forget, like, the full context behind it, but...
Well, I don't mind. I'll play, you know, whatever you want me to play. Or I won't play at all if you don't want me to play.
Whatever pleases.
Whatever it is that will please you, I'll do it.
I wish we could start.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people like kind of blow that out of proportion. It just does look like bandmates like trying to figure something out, but you can tell throughout this whole project, like especially during the Twickenham part of the filming, how desperate Paul McCartney is to try to keep it all together, because you can tell that it is low-key not like falling apart, but they're all kind of strayed away from each other a little bit. It's just interesting to see. Across the Universe is an amazing song. I love Across the Universe. It's another one of my favorites. Dude, their harmonies they go crazy. It's amazing. Dig a Pony is a little weird. That's pretty much what that song is. It's like words are straight nonsense.
Has anybody got a fast one?
So far, I think they're doing a good job at showing not just like a little bit of the tension, but uh-oh, now we're getting into I Me Mine. This is
I don't care if you don't want it on your show. I don't give a fuck. Go in the musical.
Yeah, because I remember John was the one making fun of I Me Mine, and then Paul had to step in and be like, "Hey, fucking lay off a little bit." It's so interesting to see their dynamic. George and John were the ones that were really kind of done with the band at this point. Like, you can tell they did not give a shit whether it continued after this or not. Again, I think they're doing a good job at showing the tension, but also the good times. It's a pretty equal amount so far. I think I Me Mine was actually written, there you go, that's pretty gross. I Me Mine was written after one of the days at Twickenham, right? There we go. The Wolps. I mean, I Me Mine is not, like, the best Harrison song by a long shot, but I think it's good. It has a different sound to it. Yeah, I Me Mine is like on the same level as Wah Wah from All Things Must Pass, where it's all just about like the bandmates bitching at each other. I like that little bridge section. Here we go. That's the end of the Twickenham days. We got about an hour left, so the rest of it's gonna take place at Apple, which is where Billy Preston came in, and the whole vibe was a lot better. And it's interesting to see that I did know this, that it didn't show George walking out of the band, so it's interesting to have that little bit of context, like bridging Twickenham and Apple during the recording of all this. I think you can tell even before Billy Preston came in at Apple, the vibe after that meeting that they had with George, how episode 1 of Get Back ended. The vibe here is better. Working on another George song, For You Blue. I really like For You Blue. I like it better than I Me Mine. It's the same vibe as something like Old Brown Shoe, like just very low key. They're not super rocky, they're just kinda, they're a little more mellow. Yeah, I like that. Go, Johnny, go. Yeah, I really like this song. This song's really good. See, I just love behind the scenes stuff like this, because, you know, this documentary is quite literally just the making of this album. I mean, Get Back fleshes it out a lot more, but this is really showing a lot of the highlights, and it's really cool to see. It makes me wonder what the making of, like, Revolver looked like, or even after this, like, primary recording for Abbey Road and stuff.
I Dig a Pygmy by Charles Hawtrey and the Deaf Aids.
He did it. He said the thing.
Oh, I saw the film last night. What? I was at the Mauritius. I've got all the film of it.
Where's that footage? I want that footage. Beatles in India.
It's incredible, you know, just so it seals what we're doing. It's unbelievable. But it's like we totally sort of put our own personalities under. We weren't sort of really very truthful there. There's a long shot of you sort of walking with him. And it's just not you, you know? It's just, yeah.
What happened to the Beatles in India? Because a lot of people say that the Beatles were not the same after that trip to India, especially John and Paul. I don't know. I'm not that much of a Beatle maniac to kind of know. Oh, Best Song Manucho. I love this song. This is another Anthology One cut that's really good. But I'm not that much of a Beatle maniac to really pick up on the nuances. But a lot of people say that something happened with John and Paul in India, and no one knows. But one little kiss from your lips and a feeling divine. I love Paul McCartney's different singing voices.
Every time I see him.
Oh, this is Octopus's Garden, isn't it? Yeah, in paradise. Yeah, this is such a good part of the thing. Because George and Ringo were like such a duo. Fucking voice crack, holy shit.
I'd like to be underneath the sea.
Oh, it's George Martin.
In the shade.
I remember the part where Yoko Ono was doing her thing, screaming into the mic, and then it cuts to a shot of little Heather McCartney, like, looking like she's eating a lemon, which is, oh, there's Billy Preston, which is accurate, but you've really got a hold on me. This was one that was remixed on the Expanded Red album last year. Didn't really appreciate it till I heard that remix, and I'm like, damn, this is really good. It's a cover, I think, but still really good. Still better than that Phil Spector version. I'm kidding. I actually don't hate this, like, alternate, like, jokey version that he's doing right now. See, for the first little bit, I thought they weren't gonna, like, show these jam sessions too much, or just random, like, rock and roll oldies, but I'm glad that they're, showing that as well. I thought it was just gonna be pure, like, songs from the original record, but I'm glad that they're showing, different songs that they're jamming to. That being said, they are leaving out songs like All Things Must Pass and, Give Me Some Truth. Those were surprises to, see and Get Back, like, oh, they had these songs ready, like, years in advance. Not ready, but they were, foundations were there. Who wrote this song? I want to know. It's one of those songs that everyone knows, but no one knows, like, I mean, obviously the name everyone knows, but who the hell wrote it? Is it, like, Little Richard or something? I don't know.
You can get it if you want it, and if you want it, you can get it. So come on, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I can't keep it beat till I
Billy Preston always looks like he's having such a great time. Ah, here we go. This is the part from the album. See, this is the stuff I like to see. Like, you hear it on the record so many times, and then you're actually able to, like, see the video, like, with it. And then it fades out into the interlude, and then into the album version of Let It Be. I wonder how long this jam went on for, because in the album it's only like 40 seconds long, I think. And this has been going on for the past like 3 minutes.
That was Can You Dig It by Georgie Wood.
No, Rick
You know,
almost fallen
whenever
over.
we talk about it, we have certain rules, like George saying, what do you want to do? And he says, no films. What he means is no Help Hard Days, not, you know.
I don't think we've seen this before.
See, it's like, when we came back from Hamburg and did Leicester de Montfort Hall, or wherever it was, Coventry, and those will have been, if you could have recorded those things, you know, they will have been the greatest. And we're good at that, you know, once we get over the nervousness. But it's like there's the hurdle of that nervousness is there now. You know, I do understand George just saying, well, there's no point, you know, because it is like where Stravinsky, and it's in the music, you know.
Hey, turn over cameras.
That's interesting to, oh, this is cool. This is, the studio after the rooftop concert. They're, kind of rearranging it's not in chronological order. This is cool to see, because they played this during the credits of Get Back. We didn't really get, because I think this is, like, the actual, like, version that's on the album. I think Paul was just talking about George kind of being weary of, the cameras, and I know that they all were, but I'm really glad that they were there to capture all this footage. Yeah, this sounds just like the album version. I think this is like the legitimate studio recording of it, which is cool to see, because again, we didn't really get this in Get Back. We got it a little bit, but not that much. There's one thing that the Beatles could always nail, which is a lot. Their opener tracks are really good. But in the case of Let It Be, like, Two of Us is a really good opening track, but Get Back also is as well. I always thought it was a little weird to end Let It Be with Get Back. I think it actually works in both ways, but I think in the Glenn Johns remix of the album, it opens with Get Back and then there's a reprise at the end, but whatever. I guess I should just shut up and listen to the music. Music that I can't really have you guys listen to, because this is literally directly from the album, so I can't, like, unless I want to get this video not seen by anyone, right? Yeah, seeing stuff like this makes me wonder, like, what if they recorded the making of, like, A Hard Day's Night, like, right around Beatlemania? Like, that would have been so cool. Here we go. Title track, Let It Be. I don't think we've heard it so far in the documentary, and we're, nearly an hour in. That's interesting. Doesn't come in till this late. See, like the single version of Let It Be with this style of guitar solo. I don't know if this is directly like what was used in the single version, but it sounds similar enough. Album version is way better. I love like the crunchy, rocky guitar in the album version. I think it's really cool to have in a softer ballad like Let It Be, but that's my own opinion, which is the right opinion, of course, but... Yeah, Let It Be is a really good song. Now we get Long and Winding Road. Once again, gonna have to cut all of this out of the reaction, probably. Actually, since we're here at this song, you know, the famous story is that Phil Spector, the producer of, you know, this version of the album, really kind of messed with the Long and Winding Road by adding all this intruding orchestration in, and Paul McCartney was like, never, you know, mess with one of my songs again, that's awful. I actually really like the Spector-fied version of Long and Winding Road. I think it has a little more substance to it, but this version's good too. I don't know, Long and Winding Road is a song I oftentimes, like, forget about. I don't know, it's not one I listen to that much, but let me know in the comments if you guys prefer, like, a version like this where it's just Paul and the piano, or if you guys like the album Spector-fied version, because I really like both, but... I understand part of the point behind it was Paul not wanting anyone to meddle with his songs more so than the actual orchestration itself, but... yeah, like, I really like this take on the song. Oh boy, here I literally just got goosebumps seeing that shot of Paul McCartney walking up the steps to the rooftop. Because this isn't them performing yet, this is them testing it out, right? They're showing it out of order, which from a storytelling perspective is very smart to end it with the rooftop concert. Oh no, the drums are up there. They're about to perform. I know in Get Back they showed Paul McCartney like jumping on the roof and testing it out, and George being like, oh, I don't want to go on the roof. But we have 25 minutes left, so the rest of this has to be the rooftop concert, because the rooftop performance itself was like 40 minutes, so... okay, there he is, jumping. Alright. Maybe I'm getting it confused. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen Get Back. Yeah, but it's interesting to see, like, I'm glad in Get Back we get more background of how they narrowed it down to like the amphitheater performance and like in the middle of the desert, and then looking to perform like to a small crowd, and then eventually the rooftop idea. Yeah, Get Back take 1. I mean, everyone has seen the rooftop concert at this point, right? Like, it's amazing because it's just so iconic in every single way. Like, no matter how you look at it, like, it's their last performance, it's the rooftop itself, and you can tell, like, through all the turmoil at this time, you can tell this is when they're happiest. Not recording in the studio, not writing, but this performance right here, even George seems to be having a good time with it. Also, sorry if I'm straight up yelling, there's music blaring in my ears right now, so. And unfortunately, I can't show too much of this, but again, everyone is seeing the rooftop concert at this point, right? In my opinion, this is a much better way to show it. Like, I'm glad in Get Back we get, like, the subplots almost of, like, the cops coming up the building and stuff, and the interviews of, people listening in. I'm glad that we get this version of it, because this is much more watchable if you just want to listen to the music. Because, you know, you get shots like this of people, listening through windows and stuff, and it's really, really cool to see. Especially considering that this was near the end of January 1969, so it was cold. You gotta think, like, your fingers, like, playing an instrument can't be easy. I wonder if it's gonna show Get Back take 3, where Paul McCartney notices the cops behind him. That's another really good part of Get Back. You know, if they weren't shut down by the cops, I wonder how long they would have played for, because again, it was cold. Like, I like to think they would have performed I Me Mine or For You Blue, performed a Harrison song, because they didn't in this. Don't Let Me Down, that's another rooftop cut. Don't let me down. This one you can actually watch on YouTube. Like, the rooftop performance of Don't Let Me Down is literally the Vivo music video on YouTube, so go ahead and check that out if you guys haven't seen the rooftop performance, that is. Don't let me down. Yeah, this song definitely could have fit in on Let It Be Like Nothing. I mean, I know it's on Let It Be Naked, but it really is a loss that a song this good is a B-side. It's on, like, Past Masters and that's it, but... that's cool to hear, like, the echo of, like, what it sounded like from the streets. It gives you an idea of how, like, actually, like, loud it was. Don't let me down. I'm really glad that they not only included that in here, but the subtitles, they, like, whoever was in charge of the subtitles deserves a raise for that. That was really funny.
Don't let me down.
Don't let me down. Here we go. Thank God. I love this song, guys. And, like, this rooftop performance is literally just copy-pasted from...
You can't beat them. I said, they're all out of their own. They've got a style of their own. That real quick.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize until watching Get Back like 2 years ago whenever it came out that the performances on the album, some of them are just directly taken from the Rooftop concert. Stuff like I've Got a Feeling, One After 909. I've Got a Feeling is my favorite song off of Let It Be. Hands down. I don't even think it's close. Across the Universe is pretty good too, but...
Yeah, I think it's great because I mean it livens up the office hours anyway.
I didn't realize that they included street interviews in this in the original cut, but it's not nearly as intrusive as what it was in Get Back.
Well, I think it's a bit of an imposition to absolutely disrupt all the business in this area.
Oh, it definitely is, but no one gives a shit. Like, it's the Beatles, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I know in his most recent tour, Paul McCartney uses this footage with Lennon's isolated vocal to do I've Got a Feeling on stage, which is really cool to do. I hate how I can't, like, really show any of the music that much because, like I said, it's directly from the album, so it'll get taken down.
In this country at the moment, isn't it?
Nice.
Is it that new
It's
record?
really funny.
Oh, great. I'm all in favour of it.
Oh yeah, One After 909. I was trying to remember what other songs I needed to play. One After 909 and Dig a Pony, I guess. I think those are the only two left that they have to play. Unless they want to show another take of Get Back.
Move over once, move over twice.
I love Billy Preston's edition with that piano riff. Not riff, but line. I don't know. I don't know musical terms, guys. I'll be honest. Here are the cops. I think that's the chief right there, right, with the mustache. Yeah, I'm glad that they have the visual storytelling going here of, like, you know, they showed a little bit of cops, like, at the beginning, and now they're showing, like, a whole, like, group of them pulling up to the front of, Apple.
I'll have to get the words then.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that dude with the lyrics for John being able to remember what he needs to say. See, Dig a Pony itself is, like, definitely not one of my favorites, but in the context of the Rooftop concert, I don't know why, but I really like this performance of it. Which I'm pretty sure this performance of Dig a Pony is on the record, but actually seeing it, I really like watching them perform it. Which I don't know why, because it's like, they're just playing it, but I don't know, just something about it. Something about George's green pants.
Well, you can penetrate any place you go. Yes, you can penetrate.
I liked George kneeling down like that. Is that Michael Lindsay-Hogg letting them in? No, it's not. I don't think. Never mind. Yeah, okay. On second thought, maybe I just really like the song. I think that's just easier to say. Oh, there's the cops. They made it. They made it to the roof. There they are. There's Paul just laughing. Okay, yeah, okay, good, because I really like this third take of Get Back, just because their amplifiers get unplugged, and George just plugs them right back in, and Paul McCartney, of course, does the changed lyrics at the end. Yeah, you can see John and George looking back at Mal Evans. Yep, and they're unplugged. Yep, and there's George plugging it back in, turning it back on. Yep, I know Paul McCartney said in the extended, the Get Back version of this, that he's like, I think that'd be a great ending to the movie if we all just got arrested. Yep, that's it. It's the last song this is the last thing that the Beatles ever played together, live.
Say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves, and I hope we pass the audition.
Hi, Bagel. Come here, girl. And that's it. Okay. That, my friends, is the original 1970 cut of Let It Be by the Beatles, directed by Michael Lindsay-Hogg. Alright, so that was definitely an interesting viewing experience. My biggest takeaway is that I do prefer Get Back just because Let It Be, this cut, focused a lot on the making of the album and the music, but Get Back not only was better with the storytelling, but also getting a better grip on the Beatles and their personality and more of the actual legitimate tension going on around this time in the band. And that was very interesting to see. And the most interesting takeaway I have from Let It Be is that the film itself really doesn't paint Paul McCartney or the Beatles themselves in a bad light. I think what it has to be is that I know this film came out in May 1970. John Lennon left the group in September 69, but it wasn't public. And then Paul McCartney publicly left the group in April of 1970. So I think the Beatles breaking up, like officially with Paul McCartney leaving, combined with the release of this and Paul McCartney seeing, you know, those, like, the 5% of, like, bickering in this movie I think was really blown out of proportion because of the news that had hit a month prior of Paul publicly leaving the band and really the whole band as a whole not being a thing anymore. But yeah, this was really cool to see. I like getting the original story behind it, very focused on the music, so I feel like if you don't have the proper context behind it, most people aren't going to enjoy this. You need to be a Beatles fan to really watch it and understand it. But in the end, I guess I should give my thoughts on the original album version of Let It Be, which I kind of already did because they pretty much played all the songs in the documentary itself. The thing is with this album, it is very much one of the black sheep in their discography, but it is by no means a bad record. Unlike a lot of people, after watching Get Back and now this original cut of Let It Be, I really appreciate this album more now that I've seen all the work that went into it and the story behind it, all that stuff. It's a little like Now and Then, where the story behind it is better than the actual album itself a little bit. There is one glaring issue with this album, in my opinion, and it's the fact that McCartney's original vision of, like, stripped down, bare bones rockers kind of really goes against Phil Spector's Wall of Sound production style. You know, songs like One After 909, I've Got a Feeling are very much McCartney one take, that type of style that he was going for with this record, the stripped down version, which is where the name Get Back comes from. And then, you know, side by side with those songs, you get stuff like Long and Winding Road, Across the Universe, real Spector-fied production, and it sounds very disjoint. It doesn't sound like an actual, like, cohesive work. I think maybe if side A of this album were, you know, if they were filled with the rockers and then side B was the more Spector Wall of Sound tracks, it would work better, but all in all, really good album. All I can say, like, with confidence is that the album version of Let It Be is the superior version, because man, that guitar solo in this version of the song is so good. But yeah, have you guys checked out the original 1970 cut of Let It Be? Have you guys watched it recently? Did you watch it when it came out? I know that I have older viewers tuning into these Beatle reaction videos, so let me know down in the comments so we can talk about it. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya. And also Bagel says goodbye too. Say bye, Bagel. Bye-bye.